Hey, you got a business? Got a Kickstarter? Perhaps you're in a band and you guys are wanting to promote an album or something. Tin Roof wants to work with you. You get a hold of us, let us know what you're looking for, and we will put together a affordable promotion package to help get the word out about your business through our channels. Come grow with us over here at Tin Roof Podcast. 'Twas the Friday before Christmas, and it used to be understood. They came as two, the jolly elf and the one with the horns protruding the hood. The party was just getting started. Metal riffs filled the air that weren't for the faint-hearted. Country lyrics echoed through the valley. Wings, brisket, pork butts, and cookies on the smoker. Right up St. Nick's alley. Wrestling and off-road racing took their turns on the tube as all began to gather, feeling festive as the events turned out such clatter. The demon picked up an axe, grinding out some deathcore and true country tracks. It's the Friday before Christmas, time to get in the groove. Good times, cheer, music, and food. All under one tin roof. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Oh my goodness. Welcome, guys. It is the not-so-special Christmas special where we do our year-end awards as well as just try to cut it up, have a great time, and enjoy the season for what it is. It's a cool way for me to replace what used to be an awesome tradition. I don't know. If it's only a couple years, is it really a tradition? But anyways, it's super fun to have something to do on the Friday before Christmas. Man, like this is so cool. I'm very happy to be doing this one. This is also the last one for 2024. We will be picking back up, I guess, the second week. Probably second week of 2025 is when we'll get back in the groove. Gonna try to wrap up a few things work-wise. The last couple of weeks of this year, or last week of this year, and well, I guess that's a couple of weeks. So last couple of weeks of this year and first week of next year, just get through the holiday season, and then we'll be back, and we'll be getting after it, talking about metal, talking about country, talking about racing in our throwing dirt section, because most of the racing stuff will start to kick off then. We'll have some rally racing. I can't remember when. Let's see. It's not Finland. It's not Sweden. Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo is the first one. So I can't remember when exactly next month Monte Carlo is. We can actually look that up. Because we will be discussing rally car racing, much like we did in our throwing dirt segments next year. We will also be discussing dirt car racing, off-road racing. Nora, their Mexico 1000 is in January as well. So we'll be getting things going underway with off-road discussions pretty quickly, as well as everything else we do. I'm super excited for it. We have obviously a lot already planned discussion wise, but there's always the new music that's coming out, the I guess breaking news. Even though we don't cover everything daily, we only cover things and then drop episodes on like a Monday, as opposed to every day outlets, and there's a lot of really good ones that are like that. So it's January. Come on, don't tell. The date's got to be up there. Except all cookies. How annoying. That's still 2024. I want the 2025. Monte Carlo 25. Well, apparently there's a Chevy Monte Carlo coming out. I guess I should have put Rally. It looks cool, the Monte Carlo 25. January 20th through the 26th is Rally Monte Carlo. really looking forward to that. That one's always like super cool because it like goes through the Alps and stuff, and just a lot of fun as it like wraps around Monaco and stuff. So definitely one of the cooler races of the year. One that I definitely look forward to. Yeah. So racing definitely on the schedule. Mayhem Fest is supposed to be making a comeback next year. I don't have a schedule for 2025. Obviously, the standalone Mayhem Fest show happened. We already have info on Shiprocked, the metal cruise that Lamb of God does. They've already kind of started announcing stuff for it, which is really, really cool. Being a wrestling fan, there's a lot of stuff that will get covered from that. Maybe, January 6th, that's a Monday, and that is the first episode of Raw being on Netflix. So maybe, and that's when I'm supposed to be coming back to doing Tin Roof. Maybe we do a really cool like watch along thing for that first episode, at least for a couple hours. I can't do the full 3 because I need some sleep before going to work. But definitely a thought. So lots of cool stuff coming down the pike for 2025. We're going to continue being music fans, obviously. We're going to, keep tearing it up. Tell you what, why don't we just go ahead and get into our awards? I don't know if that's what all we're here for, but that's one of the fun things about this show. And I feel like I'm rambling at this moment, which I guess this show is a lot of just me rambling about things that I enjoy. And trying to cover news that people care about anyway. And one thing that I want to next year, because like there's always a ton of negative news, and I tried to do this last year, or 2024, I tried to do this where we kept it mainly positive and upbeat, and I think we did a good job, but there's always, news that needs covered. Arch Enemy going out on tour. I do believe that is without Elisa Blues, though, because if I remember correctly, she has an ailment. I'm going to double check that, because I don't want to say something that's wrong on that. So let's do that first, and then we'll get into our awards. Sorry if I slurped my coffee. I didn't realize that was like something I had been doing, and then my wife pointed it out. So I'm going to try to not. Let's see. Arch Enemy Tour News. Alyssa White Glues is going to be a part of it. Okay, because there was a discussion that she had been like sick with an ailment, and so they were going to do an instrumental thing. I guess all that kind of changed, which is good. I'm glad that she's able to go. I missed that one this year. So Arch Enemy debuted in July a new single, Dream Stealer. Guys, it is so hard, and this is something that I wanted to cover once we got to discussing new music, or not new music, but the awards. It is so hard to cover everything, and I did my best to cover every single album release that I could like get into my ears. It was very difficult, but coming March 28th of 2025, which we're going to look at a calendar much like we did this year for 2024. We're going to do it again in 2025 when we try to look at festivals, where we try to look at new album drops and different things. But Arch Enemy's 12th studio album, Blood Dynasty, is going to come out March 28th, 2025. So definitely something that we're going to want to listen to for sure. They even toured with In Flames over in Europe this year, which I totally missed, so I apologize on that. But looks like, I want to see if they're coming they are not coming to St. Louis. Here lately, St. Louis is being overlooked musically, and I understand why. Our crime rate has kind of gone up. We're kind of having some issues with venues. Kind of a bummer, because this one would be really, really good. So, St. Louis area venues, I think it's time to step it up. And we have been, for sure, because we have the Factory, which is in the suburb of St. Louis. We have the Hawthorne in St. Louis. I miss the Firebird, man. Like, teeny tiny place, actually one of the places where the tradition that I had talked about earlier kind of got started. Or, well, I guess it didn't get started there, but that's where the best version of that tradition got started. So there's a slight need for better venues, or for venues to... I don't know. I don't know how that works as far as booking, but it'd be nice to get some more metal shows up in here, especially some of these bigger ones, because that's the second one this year that has been announced where we're getting past. We also aren't getting Whitechapel in St. Louis, so it's kind of a big deal, because we're not getting some of the bigger tours that would be really cool to get. That being said, it's time to kick off our award ceremony. So, this year we've added a couple of sections. We have... we always give out, like, album of the year, single of the year. And I say always. We've done this one year. But we also recognize other creators that help bring people to the genres, as far as like metal, hard rock, and whatnot in general, and then also like same for country. And then we also try to find bands that are breaking out on social media to recognize. So we got a lot. We've added at least one new category, I think, to this list. So this is pretty cool. We're going to get started with... I've got a list here, and I kind of want to do it in a particular order. So, we're going to start with... we'll just start with the top. 2024 Metal Ambassador of the Year Award. This one was pretty much a no-brainer. Obviously, there's a ton of dudes out there doing some super awesome stuff that are helping get publicity out there for the metal music that could have taken this award, or Hiron Reacts, or however you say it, and then also Nick Nocturnal for just being Nick Nocturnal and doing all the stuff he does. However, I had to go with Charismatic Voice because of the documentary where they're like sticking the wires and tubes and stuff down Will Ramos's throat to show us what's going on in there. So that was super, super cool, and definitely why I picked that one. Also, wanted to wear this hat, but I'm like super hot right now, so I can't wear it. I meant to start that off at the beginning of the episode. Also, this guy actually lights up. Haha, now I'm feeling extra festive. Alright. Next, we have 2024 Country Ambassador of the Year Award. This one goes to Dylan Weldon. Dylan brought forth like different things about old school country that was really, really cool, covered some new school stuff, and really did a great job on Instagram. That's where he came up on my radar. Just being awesome, talking about true country music, and I had to give him the nod for that. Country Cast was a runner-up there. They do a lot of great breaking news and everything like that, so if you're looking for that kind of information and you're not following them already, give them a shout. 2024 Social Media Breakout Artist for Metal. Gotta give it to the Opal in the Sky boys. Or Opal in Sky boys, because those dudes rock. They've been touring. They do great work creating, social media videos that are funny, that are informative. You can't say enough about the Opal and Sky guys. Next, we have for 2024 Social Media Breakout Artist Country. This one was super easy to pick, way easier than last year. This guy just blew it completely out of the water. And the reason why I say that is his song trended on TikTok and just like took off, and that is Baker Blankenship. That song Maxed Out was everywhere. It's a great tune. He actually just dropped yesterday a new music video. I don't know how long the song's been out, but he just dropped a new music video for the song 300 Miles, and I tell you what, that song is excellent. Alright, 2024 Country Album of the Year goes to Red Clay Strays, Made by These Moments. It was an absolutely awesome album, top to bottom, covered all kinds of just like so many good songs and done so uniquely. It takes me like, I feel like I'm in a 70s honky tonk listening to these things. Like everything is painted yellow, like a grotesque color of yellow, and these guys are just getting down, and they're, you know, like just true country. I can't say it enough. Those guys rocked it. The single Drowning was amazing. Everything about that album was just awesome, top to bottom. You know, Just Want to Be Loved. Every song on there was so good, and there were some really good country albums that came out this year that were way on my radar. You know, you had Aaron Lewis dropped an album. You had Shabuzi's album. I had to exclude some of these because there weren't edited versions of these albums, so that automatically disqualifies them. It's just how I run the show, and yeah, but great stuff. So give it up for Red Clay Strays, Made by These Moments. Before we go into singles and metal album of the year, we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk the 2024 soundtrack of the year. This is the new one for this year, and this one got made because, this one movie in particular had an absolute banger soundtrack, and it needed to be recognized. And honestly, there are some really good movie soundtracks out there, and they do need recognized, and so we're going to have a Soundtrack of the Year award now. This one goes to Twisters. Every song on that album is an absolute banger, and this one could have easily have won Country Album of the Year award for all the songs that were on there. We're talking Ain't No Love in Oklahoma by Luke Combs. You're talking about I can't remember, it's something Home in Oklahoma or something like that by Lainey Wilson. The two songs on there by Jelly Roll, Charlie Crockett's cover of Ghost Riders in the Sky, which honestly I wish Run Horse Run would have been on there too, but again, that's just my wishful thinking. Just so many good songs by so many great country singers. Bailey Zimmerman had a banger on there. Warren Zeders had one on there. It was good. Next, we're going to do the 2024 Country Single of the Year. This one was a very difficult decision because it was like, wow, there are just so many good country songs. Could have done Ain't No Love in Oklahoma. Could have done, several by Jelly Roll. Could have done several by Charlie Crockett. But this guy here, I felt definitely deserved the recognition because he was a newcomer that came in and just killed it. Had, trending TikTok videos trending, everywhere. And he needed the credit for it. So the 2024 Country Single of the Year is Let It Burn by Shabuzi. I chose Let It Burn because it was not about drinking. And it's just got such a great sound to it, such a great story, and again, another one of those things, top to bottom, nailed it. Next, for 2024 Metal Single of the Year. This one's really, really cool. I came across these guys from Ohiron Reacts, and so these guys new on my radar. They've been around since 2015, but they really, I think, have started breaking out this year pretty much. And that is your 2024 Metal Single of the Year, Myra by Under Exile. These guys killed it. They released an EP that almost won Metal Album of the Year. They released several different things. They toured with several, or not toured, but were featured on guests or whatever, opening acts for several bands this year, including In Flames, Suicide Silence, All That Remains, I think. I got a list here. Well, I lost the list, but we're going to discuss this band a little bit because these guys are awesome. So, they're a 5-piece metal band coming from the Navajo Nation out in Shiprock, New Mexico. And these guys have Franklin Yazzie on vocals, Ramil Jim on bass, Ryland Benally on guitar, Wyatt Billy on drums, and they actually have a second drummer, which makes their sound is super, super cool. Definitely dig these guys a lot. Sky Gallegos on drums as well. Franklin Yazzie has that sound to his voice that's very similar to Randy Blythe from Lamb of God, and I'm a big Lamb of God fan, and so that probably influenced us a lot. But Myra is a amazing song, and they actually have a new song coming out December 26th that I am looking forward to. I'm going to pull up the name of it real quick. These guys they killed it. I'm hoping that we get a nationwide tour, even if they're an opening act for somebody, if we get a nationwide tour from these guys, I'm definitely going to go see them. So the new song Web of a Neuron will be out on streaming platforms December 26th. So what a great way to celebrate the Thursday after Christmas, right? The day after Christmas, whatever you want to call it. So if you haven't checked these guys out and you're a fan of Lamb of God, check these guys out. Orion. Orion is how you say that. I had to look it up as well. So if you dig these guys, or if you dig Lamb of God, you're going to like those guys. So we have one more award to give out, and I'm very excited about this one. This one was a challenge for me to finally land on who I wanted to give this award to. There was a lot of really great albums out from metal bands this year, but this one, to me, took the cake. To bring a group back together and to just nail it the way these guys did, it definitely needed a recognition. And not only that, they kind of, if you get real deep on the whole how genres get broken down thing, these guys used to be deathcore. The sound of this new album is more like a prog, and so that changes their the sound a lot, and so they came back and reinvented themselves. And that would be your 2024 Metal Album of the Year, Moon Healer by Job for a Cowboy. That album, solid, top to bottom. Really cool sounds, great artwork for the album cover. Can't say enough about it, guys. I thought it was fantastic, and yeah, love the album, top to bottom. I put it on. I remember the first time I put it on, I was at work, headed out into a very country area of where we pick up at, and was just jamming along in the dark, rolling through the countryside, and it was awesome. So that's it for the awards, and I had a great 24. I hope you all had a great 2024. Hope you enjoyed the music along the way. Hope you got to get to a couple of concerts. I only got to get to one this year. It was Drew Holcomb, which was really, really good. Biggest issue, like getting to concerts for me, is when they are and who they are, I guess, so to speak. Obviously, I really like these, particular people in both lanes, country and metal. However, my wife isn't necessarily a fan of. She's definitely not really a fan of metal. I might be able to get her to like a Nightwish concert or whatever, but going to these things alone isn't a possibility for me, just because I don't want to waste time or money in that aspect, whereas a lot of these things would be like dates for us. So I gotta be really picky. Probably could get her to a Cody Jinks one. Might be able to get her to Ray Clay Strays. So we're gonna try to get her to a concert this year. It's gonna be good. Gonna be a lot of fun. Wrestling is getting crazy. We just discussed earlier a potential watch along on Monday, January 6th. However, I do want to cover real quick the press conference that just recently happened at Netflix's, or maybe it wasn't at Netflix, but it was with Netflix. Maybe it was at the arena that they're going to be at. I can't remember where it was, but the press conference that WWE and Netflix just did to promote Raw had Kevin Owens show up with the Winged Eagle belt, which looks fantastic, and started trash talking Michael Cole, who has had a Hall of Fame career, if an announcer ever has had a Hall of Fame career. And it was just like the interaction between them two was great. Cole calling Owens a bum, Owens being, Owens having that gruff bad guy vibe to him, which it was just so fantastic. And man, it was just good times. Definitely gave me some vibes of like old school wrestling, and same with like the Raws and stuff that we're getting here lately. It kind of has, and like, I say this because I've been going back and watching a bunch of 97 here lately. It has 1997 vibes, which was potentially one of the best years in wrestling. And so I'm hoping that we get to see another amazing year like that in wrestling. And Triple H is doing a great job leading the company. I can't say enough good stuff about what he's been doing, because people are getting great attention. We got the Wyatt Six back. I think we're trying to build to something special with them guys, and with like the group from Karrion Kross. There's a lot of really great working parts that we on everywhere. Finn Balor, with building him up to potentially have a great run in 2025. Kevin Owens to potentially have a great run in 2025. Cody Rhodes with a potential heel turn. Although there's been several times on Saturday night's main events, like Hogan being the babyface, where he actually had like a heel thing with Harley Race, where he used, Harley Race went through a table, but then also, I think that there was like a chair shot or something that was used that I can't remember, but it's not the first time we've seen a face use a heel move on a Saturday night's main event. So they're really setting up for a great 2025, and if you're a wrestling fan, I don't see why you wouldn't be excited. Moving on, I'm smoking a brisket today while you're listening to this, and I'm super excited about that because it's the first brisket I've ever smoked. And the reason why I bring that up is, one, I'm excited, and two, how important is food? Like, it's important every day, obviously, because we need it to survive, but how important is like holiday meals? Everybody gets all excited, and we all have like holiday favorites. For me, eggnog is one of them. Cheesecake's another one of them. I really like sweets, but I also really like barbecue, obviously. So like if you haven't seen it, it's on my YouTube channel if you're listening to the podcast version of this, or if you're looking at the YouTube version of this. Once this episode's over, go over to like my list of videos, find the pulled ham video, that I just recently put out. I think I put that out Wednesday night, so it should be towards the top. And check it out, because, man, that was tasty. Highly recommend doing a pulled ham if you've never done one. And if you have done one, keep doing them. They are fantastic. I'm actually getting ready to go upstairs and make a grilled cheese sandwich out of pulled ham and Swiss cheese. So, highly recommend it. And when I say Swiss cheese, it's Swiss cheese that I smoked last year. Already did some smoking of some cheese this year. I'm going to have to edit that video and get that one out. I'm trying to drop a ton of videos during this last stretch of the year, just because I had cooks in mind that I really wanted to do, that I really wanted to film. I'll probably go back to a much more lax schedule of filming cooks once we get into 2025, but still going to be doing a few. I'm not going to totally back off, but at the same time, I got work. I've got writing projects that I'm trying to get done, tabletop role-playing projects, lots of stuff coming, and it's good. It's all good, and I love cooking. I kind of want to enter in a cooking competition in 2025. We'll see if that happens though. But I think we're nearing the end here. We've addressed throwing dirt. We've addressed food. I wanted to get you guys more involved on the food thing, but I got too busy to be able to throw a post up on the Facebook or anywhere else to really get involvement there. So that was kind of a bummer. I hope you're looking forward to 2025 as much as I am. I hope that your Christmas holiday Hoobie Wuddy is going to be amazing, which, shout out to the Grinch there with that. Oh, actually, there was one more thing I wanted to do before we closed this out, and I can't believe I almost forgot. How dare me? So, there's been a handful of really good Christmas songs that were just recently released. If you haven't listened to Christmas to Me by Riley Green, that is such a good Christmas song. One of my favorites. Hits home, for sure. So shout out Riley Green on making an absolutely amazing Christmas song. And then Co Wetzel dropped a banger of covers of several Christmas songs, which actually gave me the idea to do what we're getting ready to do, because I too am going to cover one of the things that he covered. And you'll see in a second. But Riley Green, man, that dude's been killing it. He almost won album of the year with his most recent album, and even that "You Look Like You Love Me" song is really, really good that he did, or that I guess he was a guest on, because I guess it was more her song than his, and I can't remember her name. But another great candidate for several awards that we could have had. So, and any time a song mentions duck hunting, I'm there. And so he mentioned duck hunting a few times on that recent album, like the album he dropped this year. He might have actually dropped 2 this year. Now I want to look, because Charlie Crockett dropped 2 this year, and I was super, super impressed. So, if we were to look at Riley Green, Christmas to Me came out November 22nd of this year. Yeah, he did. He had 2 albums come out this year. Way Out Here and Don't Mind If I Do. Don't Mind If I Do had a couple of songs that mentioned duck hunting where I was like, Riley Green's been nailing it. I remember the first song that I heard from him, which was, what was the name of it? I Wish Grandpa's Never Died was like one of my favorite songs by him ever. And then there was another one. where he's talking about like being buried in the Dixie. That might have even been the name of it, was Bury Me in Dixie. Was that the vow? Nope. Okay. Oh, it's like a Riley Green EP. Bury Me in Dixie was the name of it. Okay. Ha ha ha. Okay. Yeah, Bury Me in Dixie and I Wish Grandpa's Never Died were the two first songs that I ever heard by Riley Green, and I thought that they were absolutely amazing. So I am definitely a fan. And like when you're coming out on a stage and blowing a duck call to start your show, love it. And so he's a big outdoors guy, which I appreciate a lot, obviously. But speaking of outdoors guys, Phil Robertson from Duck Dynasty just recently gave some sad news. He has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So from the Tin Roof family to the Robertson family, we are praying for you guys, and we are wishing you guys the best, and we hope the best for Phil. So we will be praying for y'all and sending good vibes. And yeah. That being said, we've covered a lot. We've had a great show. I think it's time we go out on top. So here we go. We're gonna read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," and hopefully I don't butcher this. It's not agreeing with me. Annoying. Okay. "'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas would soon be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads, and Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled in our brains for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn arose such a clatter, I sprung from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw open the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the lustre of midday to objects below, when what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. And he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer, and Vixen. On Comet, on Cupid, on Dunder, and Blitzum. Blixum? Huh. Never knew that before. Okay. To the top of the porch, to the bottom, or to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed in all fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys was flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I'd laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. My bad. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread, He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. And laying his finger aside his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney, he rose. He sprung to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Hope you all have a Merry Christmas. Hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful New Year. Please come back whenever we get to 2025, January 6th. And I look forward to seeing you all then. Merry Christmas. And have a happy Friday.